Welcome to Wednesday, and specifically Wednesday's first look video, guys. Thank you for joining me as we look into what's going to happen on tonight's episode. Now, I don't think you're going to be surprised to know that obviously what's going to happen tonight is the couples goals game will continue, and Shakira seemed to imply it was going to get more personal as the episode ended last night.
Nah, our gloves are off now. Let's fucking have it. You want to get personal, huh?
Have to say, I felt the game was full of tension and drama, and that was good. I did get concerned that perhaps the Islanders are looking like they're not really having fun anymore. And maybe that's because there seems to be a bit of ill feeling between them. But, you know, I suppose this was inevitable at some point. Sad to see Harry and Dijon's friendship going down the toilet. And, you know, the girls are getting catty again. But, you know, like I said, we knew this was going to happen. So it provides great drama, but I do get concerned sometimes that, okay, you know, they really don't seem to be liking each other's company anymore. But also I do think, you know, there's that other side of the coin, isn't there, where you think, well, they've been together for so long, they're probably getting quite bored of each other's company now. And we all know that can turn from boredom into just anger and not wanting to see the same faces every day. But we'll see what happens in the rest of the game. I think it will be fairly explosive, and some relationships will no doubt get fractured. But what we're going to focus on today is the voting, because as you know, the public vote is open. It might have closed by now. Public are voting for their favourite couples, and what will happen now is that the favourite couples will obviously be in the clear. The couples with the lowest votes will face some action. At least one couple's going to get dumped because of the low votes, and then I think what's going to happen is there'll probably be two more couples who are on the blocks, and one of those couples will be dumped, but it will be decided by some OG Islanders who will be flown in for that episode, such as Giorgio, who we know is on his way to Mallorca. If you watched my video yesterday, you know what I'm talking about. But let's just look at some polls. These are polls, guys, from Facebook and Reddit, and see where people are voting. Now, obviously, these are not authoritative. They're not the be-all and end-all. They're just a rough idea of what people are thinking. So you can't go by these. Just, you know, they're just like people doing their voting on the cuff, on the hoof, and on a horse. Okay, so let's have a look. We'll start with some Facebook ones, right? So this is the first Facebook poll, 289 votes, this one. Yaz and Jamie there at the top. That doesn't mean they're in the lead, as you can see. Shakira and Harry have got roughly, I would say, what, 40% should we call that? Tony and Cash, same as Yaz and Jamie. Angel and Ty even lower. Megan and Connor even lower. Helena and Blue just above Megan and Connor. And Megan Dijon roughly at the same level as Shakira and Harry. So that's an interesting one. Interesting to see how low Megan and Connor are there. And I would have expected them to be a bit higher. I would have expected Yaz and Jamie to be a bit higher in that poll. Tony and Cash maybe not so much, but interesting. Interesting, that one. Yeah. And of course Shakira and Harry, I mean, managing to get that sort of percentage of the votes despite the recent changes. But I do think Shakira is popular, and I do think Shakira is carrying it for Harry. Now let's look at the other Facebook poll we have, which I think might have been a few more votes actually. Yeah, this one is based on 559 votes. So if you look at this one, we have Yasmin and Jamie. I mean, I would say that's, I don't know, what is that, 30%. Angel and Ty down there, probably around 15%. Megan Dijon, right up there, probably again the halfway mark or just below it. Tony and Cash, roughly neck and neck with Yasmin and Jamie. Shakira and Harry again, neck and neck here with Megan Dijon. Megan and Connor really low down there. And Helena and Blue below Tony and Cash. So once again, similar poll, more voters. Of course it's a similar poll, what am I talking about? But there are more voters for this one. And as you can see, Megan Dijon, Shakira and Harry, roughly level pegging again in that poll. So if we add those votes together, assuming they're completely different people voting in them, then it's almost 1,000 people voting. So that could give us an indication of how things will go. Let's look at the poll from Reddit. Now obviously this was not from 2 weeks ago, despite what it says at the top of the screen. It couldn't have been because Shakira and Harry were not going out together 2 weeks ago. But here we have some percentages, guys. Percentages, your favourite things. So we have Shakira and Harry at the top. 32.44%, 145 votes, followed by Yasmin and Jamie. Okay, this is our first one, with Yasmin and Jamie so high up. 22.37%, 100 votes. Can't vote is 21%, don't quite understand that. Tony and Cash, 10.74% with 48 votes. Blue and Helena, 6.71% of the votes. Dijon and Meg below them, 3.8% of the votes, 17 votes. Connor and Megan even further below them at 2.46. And Angel and Ty with 0.221 vote. Okay, so not great for Angel and Ty. Oh dear. Clearly though, this Reddit one I think is from fans of Shakira, Harry, Yasmin and Jamie and that side of the villa. I mean, I think by looking at these polls we can certainly guess who the weakest couples are and therefore most likely to be dumped. It's looking like Angel and Ty, Connor and Megan, Blue and Helena. There's certainly three couples I would pick out who will probably end up down there at the bottom. I will say I feel a bit sorry for Helena because I think the reason she'll be down there at the bottom is actually more because of Blue than her. I think if Helena had actually managed to stick it out with Harry, and I'm not blaming her for that because she couldn't have stayed with Harry, he just wasn't treating her right. But I think she would have been much higher up. But I think Blue has dragged her down, sadly. I think if Blue hadn't come back in and they maybe put someone else in who was much nicer, I do think, like Giorgio, for example, to come back, I think Giorgio and Helena would have had a chance because there would have been just much nicer people together. But Blue, I think, kind of drags everything down. He's not a very, I don't know, he's not particularly affable. So I don't think he's helped Helena. Helena, it seems like a nice enough person. I really don't have a problem with Helena. Throughout the run, she's been consistent. She's been, you know, her own mad self. She's been, you know, but she's never really, I've never watched Helena and thought, ah, what an awful, awful person. You know, she's not. I just feel that the things that happened lately have perhaps ruined her chances of getting to the final. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So I would be really surprised if we don't get Dijon and Meg in the final, purely because they've been consistent. Can't deny that, regardless of what you think of them, they've been consistent. And I think normally the viewers reward the consistency with a place in the final, and I think I'd be very surprised if they don't make the final. Shakira and Harry, I think, will also make the final. Yasmin and Jamie, I think, will also make the final. Now, I am wondering whether Tony and Cash will make it, or whether Connor and Megan will make it. I think Connor and Megan perhaps stand a better chance than Tony and Cash because they just seem a bit more genuine. I just think that's the case. What do you think? Give me your comments below. And remember yesterday how I told you Giorgio was on TV talking about going back to Mallorca when he shouldn't have been talking about going back to Mallorca? Well, here's that clip as promised.
You left, actually. Was that all part of the plan? Leave early, go watch football?
Well, they don't tell you anything in the villa, so I didn't know what was happening. But yeah, I mean, it couldn't have worked out any better way to be here and come support the girls and still have had the best experience on the show. So yeah.
So I mean, it's crazy for you. So not only are you coming and being part of this, but then you have to fly back to Mallorca after this.
I do, yeah. So yeah, it'll be good. We'll see. Get it out of the way and then go from there.
It's a jet set summer, isn't it? But the most incredible thing is that the girls, the whole team, have inspired everyone, haven't they?
You can almost see him thinking when he said it, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh dear. Now I can also tell you this. Now, if this is a spoiler, right, then don't watch any further. But I can tell you now that The Sun have revealed that not just a few OGs will be going back into the villa, but the entire cast are apparently heading back into the villa to be a full-on jury to decide who's going to get dumped. So apparently they've flown them all back, and they're all going to go in there and decide, which means they're going to come face-to-face with people who dumped them, face-to-face with people who've probably not said very nice things about them in the villa, and that will obviously affect who they pick to be dumped and who they pick to stay. So there you go, guys. It's going to get more and more interesting. Right, thoughts and comments below, as I said. Let's debate and discuss, and let's keep it really nice, just like Dijon and Meg's parents told us to. Thanks for watching as always. Catch you later, and have a wonderful Wednesday.